told some people who came in here early that this was one of those mornings. Do you remember when you were a child and you woke up before the alarm went off in the morning because you were so excited about something that was going to happen that day? And I was so excited that this morning I was up 45 minutes before the alarm went off at 5 o'clock because I was thinking about working with Jill today and working with other people who are passionate about using technology for teaching and learning. And so I really meant it when I said when Jill Hobson talks in Forsyth County, Kathy Politis listens in Fulton County to what she has to say. And when I joined Fulton 3 years ago, I had heard Jill talk about that collaboration. And when I first got back into Fulton, I heard that it wasn't going so well between curriculum and IT. So that was the first place I decided to work to mend those fences to make sure I became part of curriculum and instruction. So it was kind of like that board. It was lots of convoluted relationship building. But over time that took place, and now I feel really comfortable with them. And as I said, I go to all the staff meetings, and I'm included in every decision that they make. And my office is even in the curriculum area. In fact, we have an instructional technology building. It's called instructional technology. And guess who isn't there? I'm not there. I'm over in the other building with curriculum and instruction, but that's okay. I'm there with them. But we're always being asked to do this, right? Do more with less, fewer resources. So there's Fulton County. Jill talked a little bit about Forsyth, and Fulton touches Forsyth just up at that top northern tip. And that's probably the closest similarity we have to Forsyth County. Fulton County is over 75 miles long. We have the city of Atlanta that cuts right in the middle of us. So we have to drive through another school system to get to from one side of our county to another. We have 101 buildings that we're supporting. And then over on the other side, we have those children. We have 92,000 children this year. And those children want to realize their dreams. So that's what drives me every day. That's the passion that I come to work with, to help those children realize their dreams. And I know they all have high hopes for themselves. Every time I go into a building, I stop and talk to the kids, and I'll ask them what they want to be when they grow up. And I was at a South Fulton County school last spring, and it really struck me. One little girl said, "I want to be a hairdresser." She had dreams for herself. That's what she wanted to do. Another little boy told me, I'm going to be a robotics expert. And I said, how are you going to get there? And he said, well, you know, I'm really worried about that. This is a high schooler. He said, because I need to learn Japanese, because I know that someday I'm going to be in Japan working with their engineers on the robotics. And you all are not providing that for me. So I need the Japanese, and I need better math. So realizing those dreams is something that I think about a lot. And once you have those relationships built, how do you then take that to the next level so that we're helping those kids and do it more with less? So I can't take credit for this because our deputy superintendent 3 years ago, and her name is Martha Greenway, noted that the best things that were happening for teaching and learning in Fulton County were things that were happening within the school, not the things that we were potentially pushing down at them, but things that teachers were doing in their classroom, and other teachers were seeing what was happening in their classroom and catching fire with that and doing that in their classrooms, and then it grew from school to school, and pretty soon it leaps over the city of Atlanta and it goes from one end of Fulton County to another. In fact, right now, how many of you know the inspired classroom model? Well, you can look that up on the internet. In Fulton County, we have ed specs that provide every instructional unit, every classroom with 3 computers. And our ed specs have them along the wall because that's where our outlets are located. In the inspired classroom, teachers have begun to pull those computers into the center of their room. If they can grab a 4th one, they like that better. And they have those 3 or 4 or sometimes even 5 computers that I've seen in the center of their classroom. They have to figure out the wiring, and often it's carpets laid over it. But they get their computers out into the center and they arrange their desks into pods so that they have collaborative workstations. That started in one classroom because a teacher saw it at a conference. The next thing we knew, 10 classrooms in that school were the inspired model. The next thing we knew, more schools were doing the inspired model. Now I have one school that every classroom in that building is the inspired model. So some of the best things happen there. And so if the children have dreams, and if we are passionate about what we are doing, and if our goal is to make sure that we have those children grow into adults that create innovations in the future, then maybe we ought to be looking at those teachers that create innovations right now in their classroom. So with that idea in place, we conceived of developing a technology leadership forum, which would be those teachers who are already doing some innovative things in their classroom using technology in ways that promote teaching and learning. And if we pulled them out of the classroom one day a month, brought them into a central location, and had them work with some national experts for a whole day, not just an hour at a concurrent session at a conference, but for a whole day with people like Alan November and Verna Jean Porter, and yesterday we had Elizabeth Hubble with us. Elizabeth Hubble wrote Using Technology with Classrooms That Work, and allowed them to grow their knowledge and their skills. Could we leverage that and get it back into the school so that it would, those little fires would jump from classroom to classroom and involve more people? So we developed a technology leadership forum, and the first thing we wondered is, how are we going to fund this? So we are fortunate we have an educational foundation. It's a nonprofit, and it solicits contributions from businesses to support innovative programs. And they looked at the Technology Leadership Forum and said, yes, this is something we'd like to support. And they provided us with funding to start with a group of 25. And we're now in our third year of the Technology Leadership Forum. So the first year we just filled one group of 25. The second year, we had a few more applicants than we could take in. And this year we had maybe 3 times the number of applicants that we could actually take in, because more and more people were becoming fired up about learning more about technology. So it was working for us. So how do we find those teachers? So on your tables or close to where you're sitting, somebody has a blue folder like this, and inside of it, these are not really handouts. I just want, all of these materials are now posted into the vault